mind and the body are connected. You cannot isolate a pure, ये तो सिर्फ body का है.
So a lot of people don't come, a lot of people are not aware of what is happening with them.
तो एक दिन उसको मैं माता आई तो उसने झाड़ू से अपनी सास को पीट दिया.
कंडीशनिंग भी है ना कि ज्यादा मत हंसो, जितना हंसोगे उतना रोना भी पड़ेगा.
Are we really fine?
I don't think so.
Relationships, good, healthy, genuine, authentic relationships need to be the topmost priority.
From your experiences, if you say you meet somebody and it says I'm fine, do you go deeper that this person looks fine or not?
Usually, like I usually ask, and when people ask me how are you, I ask, do you really want to know, or do I have to just tell you I'm fine? So depending on the answer I get, then accordingly I would frame my feelings and I'll share. And with others also, I say, no, how are you actually doing? I ask. If they just give me one line and I'm fine, I'm okay, then I ask, no, how are you actually doing?
For me, I guess it depends on my emotional bandwidth. I mean, empathy is a resource, pretty much like any other resource in your body. So you don't ask a marathon runner to keep running all the time. So as a psychologist, if I do not have the bandwidth and if someone says I'm fine and they're not looking fine, then sometimes I stop, inquire, sometimes I don't. And that's okay. That's how I manage to work. If I don't do that, I'll be in a burnt out state.
But that's what we are always thinking. Now, you three are psychologists, psychiatrists. Are you always scanning? We are always worried, when we meet you, are you going to be thinking, oh, what's going on in her mind?
Not all the time, definitely. Usually not all the time.
I always say I charge for that.
Exactly.
If you're not paying me.
When you're good at something, don't do it for free.
All the more, there's so much of respect for the emotional labor now as a woman, right? So,
No free lunch.
no free lunches.
From your field and meeting people, how do you think that people are fine or not, Sam?
I don't think so. I mean, without trying to be politically correct, I don't think so.
So, with so many people not being fine, are you seeing a lot of people are coming to visit you, or what are people doing about this? Or are they just saying, let's bury it under the carpet?
So a lot of people definitely don't come. So though awareness is increasing, but I think it is only in the metro cities. So a lot of people don't come. A lot of people are not aware of what is happening with them. Like lately, we see a lot of cases of psychosomatic disorders where somebody is having a stomach issue, a gut issue for a long period, and they don't know why is it happening. And they are told that, it is because of the psychological stress that you're going through, or you have a worrying tendency since a long time. But how many people reach out? They don't know where to go, whom to talk to. And so specifically in India, we represent psychological pain through soma, through our body, whether it is headache, back pain, immunity related issues, or gut issues. These are very common.
We are somatizing culture.
Exactly. Because I'll be heard if I say that I have gut issue. But I'll not be heard. I'm sad. It may be seen as drama, or it may not be taken seriously, or I'll be told ki kam socho. That kind of a thing. That will be heard. I'll be given attention to. I'll be taken to somebody. Somebody will talk to me, ask me how am I doing, am I eating, or am I sleeping properly. So mental health is seen by judging the person, that why are you having this? You have a problem, and so you have this.
Somatizing culture, what is that? Like,
Essentially, we have two kinds of cultures that are studied. The psychologizing kind of cultures, which is I feel sad, mummy, I want this, I'm not okay, I'm not unhappy. Or you have somatizing culture, and India is one of those cultures where a lot of our psychological distress is expressed physically. Even when you look at depression, you have certain symptoms that are more psychological symptoms like helplessness, hopelessness, suicidal thoughts. And then you have more physical symptoms like fatigue, your sleep changes, food habit changes, नींद ज़्यादा आ रही है या भूख exactly.
so is this something that's more in India than anywhere else?
It's just how our culture is. Like if you look at a woman, she can't say आज मैं खाना नहीं बनाना चाहती.
मेरे सर में
Right?
दर्द है.
मेरे सर में दर्द. Like there's this very interesting case that I heard, which was a woman in the village. And उसको माता आती थी. So माता आना is another somatizing way of presenting some conflict or issue on the inside or in the structures in the society. तो उसकी सास उसको बहुत तंग करती थी. तो एक दिन उसको मैं माता आई तो उसने झाड़ू से अपनी सास को पीट दिया. Can any woman do that in a normal setup? You can't.
So, but
simple.
on a serious note, when you get these kind of a cases, like recently, very recent, somebody from a rural background, and he believes his wife has this whatever in their local this, and I tried to tell him that go to a therapist, take medicine, but he says I've taken to one doctor, there's nothing, and it is this.
So see, if people like that come to us, we don't challenge their belief system, because if somebody has a problem going on in their family, they would do everything. They would go to a therapist, to a psychiatrist, to a physician, to a temple, exactly, for anything. So we are okay with them going, but yes, we do tell them a scientific base of what is happening with them and why is it may be happening with them and why intervention is important and how intervention can help. So obviously psychoeducation is really important. We need to first of all tell them what it is or what it might be or what is our idea of what it is and how there have been different cases who have gone through so long. Like I had this client who was not able to walk for 6 months. She had a very bad home environment, a bitter relationship with the mother-in-law. And I remember her husband had brought to her at my clinic in his arms and all the investigations done. Nothing came out. And the neurologist said that you should be going to a clinical psychologist. If she's working, she's running a big boutique, she's now completely functional. So she was on medicine, she was on regular psychotherapy. We worked with her mother-in-law, with her spouse, and so there were critical comments and sarcasm and mockery and a lot was happening, and it was a well-to-do family, but the girl was not able to speak. So she was internalizing her emotions and her thoughts. She was not verbalizing that.
India जैसे culture में ना, you can't go against the belief systems, the spiritual beliefs, the religious beliefs, because these are the first places where people go for any distress. आप अंगूठियां पहन लोगे, आप बाबा के पास चल जाओगे, आप चेन पहन लोगे, या in all the religions actually. So the idea is not to antagonize people of faith, and especially if you've ever experienced deep psychological pain, you would actually even respect why someone becomes so helpless that they're ready to do all of those things. The idea is to work with them. For instance, we have this, I believe, I could be wrong here, but this I think had started sometime back, this Dawa Daru program.
They would actually train religious leaders कि आपका मौलवी हो गया या आपके पंडित हो गए, तो आप उनको जाके train करते हो कि कोई schizophrenia के symptoms आपके पास आते हैं, ऐसा कोई, if someone looks like that, then you give this contact to them. So you work with the
Collaborate.
faith rather than anti or against the
Yeah.
And they're probably more likely to accept it also, right? If it's coming from your guru or your pandit or your...
Yes.
Yeah.
You have a deep formed trust in them, no? So if they are telling you something, you will listen, and which is where the concept of belief comes into picture. Your beliefs are very rigid, and it's very difficult to break them. You can't confront and say this is your
And the goal is
belief
not
or
to
your
challenge.
So we don't challenge.
Yeah.
We will provide them that space where they are okay, comfortable. We'll go from high notes to the low notes to the deep pain, and then we'll form and come to the warm notes, the middle ground where the client is himself or herself identifying कि अच्छा ये बहुत extreme है, ये भी बहुत extreme है, ये वाला जो section है थोड़ा सा workable है.
Let's start from mildest form of it. We say nazar हो जाती है. From nazar to mata आ जाती है. So are there different kind of symptoms, which is different kind of
Symptoms of any mental health
yeah,
issue?
Yeah.
So, like, there are physical disorders and there are physical diseases, and they have a diagnostic criteria, like diabetes has, ulcer has, asthma has. In the same manner, different mental disorders have different names and different diagnostic criteria. Like depression has different diagnostic criteria. Anxiety spectrum has OCD, panic, phobia, many others. And then there is bipolar, there is schizophrenia, and many other disorders are there. So World Health Organization has given diagnostic criteria for all the disorders. So everyone who has any symptom, people usually, because they know less, so they say कि उसको depression हो गया. So we usually use the terms like that. But not everything is depression. Not everything is trauma, not everything is panic disorder. But because we know less, so we just know the terminologies lately.
Use it loosely.
Yeah,
Very
a
loosely.
simple example would be if someone is cleaning the house too frequently, you call it कि इसको तो OCD है.
Exactly.
Which is not the case. That's not how you diagnose a person with OCD.
Yeah, फिर they say aura, make your aura strong. So what are these?
I would say that I'll use a term called the positive affect intolerance.
Positive?
Affect intolerance. So, a lot of people think that, a lot of mental health disorders are कि आपको बहुत ज़्यादा negative affect, negative emotions आ रहे हैं, बेबसी, helplessness, hopelessness. But a lot of trauma is also inability to tolerate happiness. Or
Inability to tolerate happiness.
कुछ गलत हो जाएगा.
Wow.
इतना खुश नहीं होना चाहिए.
नहीं तो कुछ बुरा हो जाएगा.
कुछ इतना खुश नहीं होना चाहिए हमें. और the body is unable to tolerate a lot of happiness. You feel happiness, so then you're also getting used to a certain distress. Just if you've lived your life a lot of distress for the last 25 years of your life, that's your normal. अगर कोई आपको इज्जत से बात करेगा जब you've gone through so much of humiliation, like ये क्यों कर रहे हैं, इनका क्या एंगल है यहाँ पे?
They must want something.
से नजर हमेशा अच्छे टाइम में लगती है. आप अच्छे लग रहे हो, आपके घर में कोई खुशी आई, सोशल मीडिया में पोस्ट कर दिया.
So वो कंडीशनिंग भी है ना कि ज्यादा मत हंसो, जितना हंसोगे उतना रोना भी पड़ेगा.
You're saying that a lot of this affects and it comes out in like these type of body. How do we know if it's real body issue or actually a mental issue?
See, like during COVID, I got a lot of clients with chest pain. So chest pain was also one of the symptoms of having COVID. So most of them would obviously first go to a physician or a cardiologist and get themselves assessed. And then obviously, so people come to us last. Once the organicity is ruled out,
Everything else is ruled out.
they say that, it might be stress or are you going through something and, so then they are sent to us. So first the physical investigations rule out the organicity and then the clients are referred to us that, okay, there might be something. And at times it is both. Like there is something called seizure and pseudo-seizure. So some people have seizure, true epilepsy, and some people have symptoms like seizure. So at times there is a neurological issue and there is a psychological issue also.
My understanding is that the mind and the body are connected. You cannot isolate a pure, ये तो सिर्फ body का है. Even if you're having just fever, if you're with your loved one, it will have a very different effect on your health. So सिर्फ body or सिर्फ वो, that would be the body or the mind cannot be broken down and segregated. That is violence on the inside.
Now, one question, I think you brought it up, that COVID ने काफी चीजें change करती है. So what do you see? Some big changes that have happened and that are affecting us post-COVID. I call it the pre-COVID and post-COVID.
I would say loneliness.
Loneliness is more now.
I think the COVID really started off, कुछ तो उसने तार छेड़ दिए थे जब आपको अकेले डाला था. उसके बाद वो तार जुड़े नहीं है वापस. This is how I would see it. So I see a lot of post-COVID with AI, with internet, with people really connected. But the more people are they have access online, but वो real जो चीज होती है, बैठना, बात करना, that happiness that you would get from the presence of somebody, I think that's really missing.
I saw adaptability issue and also emotional dysregulation. I think a lot of emotional dysregulation is something that I have seen because of so much unpredictability. You get so disturbed. You can't predict. You don't know what is going to happen next. So that I have noticed in my environment that people go from adaptability issue to emotional dysregulation, and naturally, of course, if you have these two, loneliness is something that will come into picture for you.
I think pre-COVID, what I have seen is that there was less awareness about mental health. Post-COVID, definitely the awareness has increased. But because the awareness has increased, so the platforms to know what I may be going through have increased, but not how that, we need the skills to deal with that.
Yeah.
I know what is trauma, depression, emotional dysregulation. I know all the terms, but
Terms are
but I don't know the skill to deal with it. So I keep saying this, but I don't know. And second aspect, obviously, relationships. So technology has done two things to us, definitely. One, obviously made us more aware and connected all of us online, but it has also impacted us, where a comparison culture has started, and feeling low and disappointed with oneself, and this envy, jealousy, all of that has come to the fore.
No, but I feel I agree with you the most that we have become lonelier post-COVID. Something has changed or shifted in us, that everything, because internet technology has grown so much, everything happens at home. You don't really need to go to places. Connections have become more digital than in person. We ourselves have become more inwards, more alone.
So see, if you are going through something, I'm going through something. I want you to listen to me, and you want me to listen to you. Who will listen to who? So basically, I think people have gone through a lot of vacuum inside them, where they don't know whom to talk to, because they don't have a listener who is neutral, non-judgmental, and just gives them an ear and with no advice.
A very strange thing happened in one of the parties recently, few months back. I was talking to somebody I met once, and I was talking to her there, and we talked for half an hour, 40 minutes or so, and she was amazed. She said, "My God, you are here. You are listening. You are observing what I'm saying." And for me, it was like, I'm not doing anything extra.
Positive affect intolerance. See?
So, what if we're going to wrap up? Tell us, what is it that you're thinking? What needs to be happening for us to move forward?
So I think emotional check-ins is something which I think is important. That we just don't need a psychiatrist or a psychologist all the time. We don't need a therapist all the time. I think basic education to children, adults, about asking the well-being of the other person, or expressing basic empathy, or asking somebody how hard was the day, or how was it, or did something happen that, and then sharing your story. Because when you share bits and bits, your children also open up to share with you, because you are sharing certain part of it which do not impact them negatively. And so I think it's important to check in with other people, because that human connect is important. You can't go to a therapist all the time for the same.
So,
So that basic.
When we say I'm fine, double check and say, are you really fine? What really happened today?
Depends on the context also. If the context allows, yes, we should definitely get into the detail of it. Otherwise, talk about it at some other time.
Yeah, I think in order to move forward, I'll just pick up one basic scientific principle, that your brain thrives on predictability. If you give a disciplined routine lifestyle to your system, it can really help you thrive in the parasympathetic nervous system. Having a defined time to wake up, to sleep, to eat your meals on time, having your goals for the day, and every now and then learning new things. So to, cut the monotony, and also to, do the workout for your brain. So having that disciplined lifestyle is something that your brain can really thrive with. So doing that along with the little tiny gestures of emotional checks, like Dipali said, I think that would be really good to sustain. Go basic, don't go fancy. If you have not done basic, fancy won't work.
Right.
So go basic. I think that would be really good.
I would pick up from there only, go basic. I think relationships, good, healthy, genuine, authentic relationships need to be the topmost priority for us. It can't come after, 10 things. When once I've achieved all of that, then I'm going to focus on my... Yeah.
And that starts with the relationship with yourself, right? You being authentic within you can really bring out authenticity in your environment.
I'll share this. One of my friends was telling me that she said that मेरे लड़के का एग्जाम था, प्री कोर्ट का था, कौन सा था, बट घर में एक शादी थी, मैं उसको शादी पे लेके, तो रिश्ते इम्पोर्टेंट है. एग्जाम तो हो जाएगा, फिर से आ जाएगा, उसके लिए रिश्ते इम्पोर्टेंट. I was like, this is very important point. We need to prioritize relationships with us, with other people. It's all connected.
So what's now the biggest issue people are coming to you for?
What I have seen is anxiety, especially health anxiety, it's really high of late. In the last 1.5 years, I've seen rise in health anxiety. Second is relationship issues. And third, which I'm seeing in the younger generation, is they want to do self-work. Self-work. Cool. So these are the three common things that I have noticed in the related period of 2-3 years. I think this is the rising of how much you do harm. Mental health disorders mainly, where we do take psychotherapies, relationship therapy sites, where I also did pre-marriage work, where they had to get married, and now because they are aware of the marriage counseling, they do come for that, and post-marriage issues and extramarital issues, and then definitely career-related tasks, the layoffs that are happening, a lot that, and how to balance a lot of things.
And Nitisha?
So I work with a lot of women, and I work with a lot of women who are what we call neurodivergent, which means their brains are wired differently. So the lot of these autistic women, ADHD women, adult diagnosed, which means many of them were never diagnosed as such because we think that ये तो लड़कों में होता है. So a lot of adult women with these neurodivergent conditions come.
So now, if somebody wants to get mental health support, where should they go?
So essentially, there are these mental health professionals. One is a psychiatrist. So this person has an MBBS, MD specialized degree, and they are usually the ones who can prescribe pills. They also do therapy. Then you have clinical psychologists. They are clinically trained to mental disorder, mental illnesses, therapy bhi dete, assessment bhi karte hain. So these are the second ones. And the third ones, you have counseling psychologists. So वहाँ पे family counseling, couples counseling, individual counseling. So all of these are, they work kind of together. Then you also have social workers, psychiatric social workers, etc. So there are government hospitals. You can go there. The psychiatry, psychology departments, you can go there. They're also relatively cheaper. The quality, I would not be very sure. The private hospitals also nowadays. Then there are a lot of these, I think, बहुत सारे ऐसी lists और online available होती हैं जिसमें लोग RCI, for example, you go to RCI website and they have a list of RCI qualified clinical psychologists. So you can just contact them. The best way out is that referrals are very good. Like go to someone who's already gone.
कोई बताता नहीं है ना.
कोई बता.
That's true. But एक्चुअली कुछ सर्कल्स में ये बहुत कॉमन हो गया. मेरा थेरेपिस्ट, जैसे जिम की बात करते हैं ना, मैं आज जिम में गई, अरे मैं आज अपने थेरेपिस्ट के होके आई, राइट. So that conversation has become.
Problem होती है कि you don't want to go to the process, your Ferris or your own curve.
Because it's just like it's so confidential. Like we do, we can't take very close people also because they're conflict of interest. But उसी से referrals कि आप मैम कोई referral बता रही. So that means you're not just going to an absolutely you don't know who this person is. Tried and tested. वो आगे उनकी referrals, फिर उनकी referrals. So this is how.
But one thing, Dipali, that you were saying that in India, almost everybody is a generalist. We don't have this very specialized.
Generalist.
That all the psychologists, we don't have very much focused. This person focuses on family, this one focuses. Almost everybody
is doing everything.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit more about that.
So basically, in the US, I've seen that, there is a specific therapist for children having autism or children having ADHD. They are specialized and they are specifically working in that area. Here, we work in a very generalized manner. Like I'm registered with RCI. So I have children with disabilities coming to me. I have adults coming to me. I have elderly group with some neurological issues coming to me. I have relationship area. And at times when we try referring them, people don't want to go because through word of mouth, if they have come to know about me, they have that trust. And because it is a very private, confidential space, it's not easy to go to a stranger and just talk about your things. So people do take time, and they now post-COVID, what has happened is that people have become more aware. So they talk about it, they read about it, they know what they are coming with, and they actually ask you questions that whether you are able to come to that or not. Also, through a lot of workshops, a lot of work can be done in the school setups, colleges, and corporates. So I think that now the awareness is increasing. But yes, there is still a group where there is confusion that whether I should be going to a psychiatrist or a clinical psychologist. But if your biological functions are getting impacted, like sleep, appetite, or sexual area, then I think it is always better to consult a psychiatrist also, because we can't work in crisis, a clinical psychologist or a counseling psychologist. So if somebody is having suicidal thoughts, self-harm tendencies, then if I say that, oh, I'll just take therapy sessions and all would be okay, then I'm lying. It needs a teamwork. And as per research also, the psychiatric intervention plus the psychological intervention, the teamwork really makes big changes. So, and if the family is part of it, then definitely, because so if a child comes to my clinic, if a parent has brought the child that the child is disobedient, has behavioral issues, we end up working with parents. So we tell them that you don't have to tell your child that you have the problem, chalo ab saath mein. No, it is a teamwork, because the child will then not come the next time. How will the child open up? Because the child will think that I'm teaming up with the parent. We are one. So we are working towards the family system, so that we educate the families and then work accordingly as a team.
See, children never have problems. Children are manifesting the dysfunctional dynamics that are around them. Yeah. Dogs, human beings, animals, and infants and children, essentially sensitive nervous systems.
To what you are
They
doing.
absorb and they
So I was
receive
like,
so
please
much.
treat him. She said, no, I have to train you.
True. Very much so.
So on that note, thank you for being with us. It's so much of insights in one room. That's a pleasure, and hoping to see all of you soon.